Welcome to Map Your Mind, where mountains speak and rivers remember, where kingdoms rise from the jungle mist, and ancient spirits still whisper through the stone. Today, we travel to the quiet heart of Southeast Asia, a landlocked treasure wrapped in myth, mystery, and memory. This is the story of Laos. Here, time does not march. It flows gently, like the mighty Mekong River that cuts through the soul of the land. Long before borders were drawn, this lush landscape echoed with the footsteps of early tribes, their cultures etched into the earth and the air. By the 8th century, the region was already thriving, a crossroads for migration, spirituality, and trade. Hindu and Buddhist influences from India traveled eastward, infusing the land with temples, carvings, and sacred scripts. Over time, indigenous Thai peoples migrating from southern China settled the valleys and made Laos their home. Then, in 1353, a king was crowned. His name was Fa Engum, and with the strength of his armies and the wisdom of monks, he founded the kingdom of Lanshang, the land of 1,000,000 elephants. Lanshang became one of Southeast Asia's most powerful realms. It was a kingdom of golden temples and thick forests, of bustling trade routes and deeply rooted Buddhism. The capital Luang Prabang glowed with saffron-robed monks and sacred chants, and across the land, elephants roamed as both warriors and symbols of divine power. But like all empires, Lanshang too faced division. By the 1700s, the kingdom fractured into smaller realms, Luang Prabang, Vientiane, and Champosak, each one vulnerable to larger regional powers. Siam from the west, Vietnam from the east. Laos became a chessboard in the power games of Asia. Then came new strangers from far across the seas. In the late 19th century, the French arrived and folded Laos into their colonial empire of Indochina. They drew lines on maps, laid down railways, and extracted what they could from a land already layered in history. Yet through it all, the Laotian spirit endured. Temples still shimmered in morning light. The chants of monks still floated through the dawn. By the mid-20th century, the world was changing, and Laos was caught in the storm. As World War II reshaped continents, Laos quietly declared independence in 1945, only to be drawn into new tides of conflict. The First Indochina War flared France versus the Vietnamese resistance. Laos, tied by colonial bonds, was drawn in. In 1953, full independence finally arrived. But peace was elusive. The Cold War soon followed, and Laos, though small, became one of its most bombed battlegrounds. The Laotian Civil War raged in the shadows, with American covert missions, CIA operations, and proxy forces turning villages into ruins. Over 2 million tons of bombs were dropped, more than were dropped on all of Europe during World War II. Even today, unexploded bombs remain buried beneath rice fields and forests, a haunting legacy of a war few outside the region ever truly saw. In 1975, the communist Pathet Lao took control. The Lao People's Democratic Republic was born, ushering in a new era of isolation, central planning, and quiet resilience. For years, the country remained closed, its people struggling under the weight of history and change. But Laos did not forget how to survive. In the 1990s, it began to reopen to the world. Foreign investment trickled in, tourism followed, and once again, the Mekong flowed with stories new and old. Today, Laos is a land of contrasts. It is one of Asia's poorest nations, yet it is rich beyond measure in culture, tradition, and soul. Golden temples glisten beneath jungle canopies. Ancient festivals light up the night sky with prayer lanterns. And every morning, in cities and villages alike, lines of monks walk barefoot, collecting alms from the faithful. Here, peace does not shout. It whispers, in the slow swirl of incense, in the silent power of a stone Buddha, in the laughter of children playing by the river. Fun fact, Laos is home to the mysterious plain of jars, thousands of massive stone vessels, some over 2,000 years old, whose purpose remains unsolved. Are they burial urns? Wine jars? Something else entirely? The earth remembers but rarely explains. This is Laos, gentle, fierce, forgotten by some, unforgettable to others. A land that moves not with noise, but with depth. With grace, where will your mind travel next?